Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Victor again with my Ioniq 5. Now, just a couple days ago I had posted a video with some tips, tricks, and some features that I thought would be helpful for owners or prospective buyers. And one of our awesome commenters actually asked, hey, can you make a video for things to check for before driving home from the dealership? And as soon as I saw that, I thought, oh wow, that's a fantastic idea. That would have been really helpful for me too when I was buying my Ioniq 5. So that's what this video is going to be for. So the number one most important thing that I think you have to check for before you leave the dealership, before you even sign the papers, is check for the infamous motor whine. Now, if you've been on the blogs or the forums, you'll know that some owners are complaining about a high frequency whine when they're driving around highway speed. So you'll want to talk to the sales rep and let them know, hey, I want to do a test drive somewhere with smooth roads where I can get up to about 65, 70 miles per hour because I want to check it for motor whine. So once you get the car up to speed, again, make sure all the music is off. The car needs to be as quiet as possible. You want to stick around 65 miles per hour, let off the accelerator, and then slowly push the pedal down and repeat it a few times, staying somewhere between 60 to 70 miles per hour. What you're checking for is a super high frequency whine, and you may or may not hear it. A lot of people have heard nothing, some people hear a little bit, others hear it very clearly and very sharply. Now, I keep hearing different opinions on what it might be coming from, but I'm more inclined to go with the opinion that it may just be normal motor noise, and it's just the motor making a noise at a specific RPM, which could be why we only hear it between 60 and 70 miles per hour. And maybe also why certain owners hear it more so than others, because we do experience high frequency hearing loss as time goes on. So ideally, hoping maybe someone can test it at 70 to 80 miles per hour, but at least for me, at that point, the wind noise is actually a lot louder than it is at 60 to 70, and I'm pretty sure that even if it's there, I may not be able to pick it out. Now, this is super important because, like I said, for some people, this is extremely noticeable to the point where it may be unbearable, might hurt your ears, might even give you a headache. And if that's the case, you shouldn't buy that car. If anything, you want to check if they have another Ioniq 5 on the lot that you can test drive through the same conditions and see if you hear it there too. Because if you hear it there, that may point to it being a sign of just typical motor noise and you're picking up on that frequency. Whereas if you don't hear it there, then maybe it is a manufacturing defect. In any case, I'm hoping that they do come out with some kind of fix for it. I don't know what it's going to be, but definitely something to check for. Again, on my own personal experience, I have tested it in eco mode and sport mode. The differentiator there is I'm driving in rear-wheel drive versus driving in all-wheel drive. And based on that, I've heard it in both drive modes, so that tells me that it's not isolated to the front motor because I'm hearing it on both settings. So if anything, it could be isolated to the rear motor, but again, I don't know. So that's number one. Number two actually fits nicely with number one because you can check these together. You want to be going at least freeway speeds, and that's vehicle vibrations. A lot of owners reported kind of similar / slightly different symptoms. You might get some vibrations through the center console. For me, it started through the steering wheel when I was going around maybe 60 miles per hour, and then as soon as I hit the turnpike, where the speed limit is 70, and I was going around 70, 75, then I started feeling it in my seat. And if I leaned my head back onto the headrest, then it felt like I was in an actual massage chair, and my vision was getting blurred. Now, this didn't last for that long. This lasted probably for about 30-40 miles. My drive home was about 170 miles, and definitely by the end of my drive home, it was completely gone. But I noticed it improving within 20-30 miles on the freeway. Now, most people are attributing this to tire flat spotting. What that means is the car was sitting in one position for a long time where the tires haven't moved. So wherever the tires are in contact with the ground, it's just kind of flattened out. And it needs some time, some more rotations to kind of even back out. Now hopefully that's the issue. It was for me and was also the case for most owners. But it'll be nice to let your dealership know that you have this existing issue. That way down the road, if it hasn't resolved itself, you can come back and they can look into it. Number 3 for me would be to check your vehicle to load outlet. So if you have the limited trim, or if you have an EV6 and the wind trim or above, I believe, you should have your vehicle to load outlet underneath your second row middle seat. Now, for me personally, and as I've seen on the forums, some owners are reporting a loose connection. So maybe try bringing your phone charger, you want to stick it in, and try wiggling it around. If you're able to wiggle it around and you notice a status light changing between red, blue, or green, or you hear that clicking sound on and off, that means you may have a loose connection as well. Now, I don't know if there's an actual fix for it out yet. Again, our cars are so new to these dealers that they have no experience with any of this. So there may not be a fix for it yet, but again, something to let the dealership know that is an existing issue. Hopefully your outlet still works. Mine still works. I just have to kind of mess with it a little bit if it gets loose. Number 4 would be to check your heating and cooling system. Make sure everything's working properly before you drive off the lot. I have seen, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 owners complaining about their heat not working, and I remember at least one of them saying that the dealership was planning to replace their whole heating system. As far as cooling, I don't think I've seen anything, but still, it's a good idea to double check and make sure everything is working. And last but not least, number 5, is make sure the sales guy is helping you with BlueLink setup, with EA charging setup, and with digital key setup. For digital key and BlueLink, obviously you have to have your Hyundai account set up. When I did it with Hyundai 112, my guy Manny basically walked me through step by step, made sure I was logged in before we moved on to the next thing. With Electrify America, I think there was a code that they had to give me that I had to either type into my phone or use the app to scan. I remember when I used the phone app to scan it, it was turning, I forget, maybe zeros into O's and 8s into B's or vice versa. So when I initially tried to sign up, it was rejecting the code, but once I entered it in manually, then it worked. So that's pretty much it. Those are the 5 things that I can think of. I'm sure I probably missed some. I was really rushing to get this video out because I think these are super important, and I don't want anyone that's going to the dealership not knowing that they should be checking for these things. So I hope it was helpful. Definitely hit me back with your comments in the comment section. Let me know what I missed. Thanks for watching.